Okay guys, welcome back. Luke chapter 2, and we're going to finish up this section that we started. Luke 2, verse 25 through 38. So 25 through 38, go ahead and pause, read, I'll see you in a second. Okay, welcome back. So when we're reading Gospels, we have to think Old Testament. Mary and Joseph in the last section went to Jerusalem, to the temple, and they're doing all of the Mosaic law purification rituals. So that's all Old Testament-y kind of stuff. They're still in the temple in this section, and now they meet this old guy named Simeon. At least we think he's old. Doesn't really say that, but he seems to be ready to die, so we're going to assume he's old. So Simeon, it also says, has the Holy Spirit, right? He's waiting, verse 25, he was waiting for the consolation of Israel. He's waiting for the Messiah, and the Holy Spirit was upon him. So in the Old Testament, the Holy Spirit would come upon people for specific, special tasks. The Holy Spirit came upon Samson. The Holy Spirit came upon others of the judges in the book of Judges. The Holy Spirit comes upon Gideon, etc. In the Gospel of Luke, so far we've seen the Holy Spirit come upon Zechariah, Elizabeth, and even the unborn baby John. So Simeon is another one of these guys that has the Holy Spirit come upon him, and he prophesies. So jump down to 29 through 32. We're going to see what Simeon says, and this is the good news. Good news first, bad news second. And here's what Simeon says. He says, "Sovereign Lord, as you have promised, you now dismiss your servant in peace." Because it said the Holy Spirit told him he wasn't going to die until he saw the Messiah. So he's saying, okay, I'm ready to die. I can die in peace. Verse 30, "My eyes have seen your salvation." This baby Jesus is God's salvation. 31, "which you have prepared in the sight of all people, a light for the Gentiles, and for glory to your people Israel." So Simeon says, this baby Jesus has brought me peace. He is the salvation of the world for the Gentiles and the Jews. This is a great statement about Jesus. Mary and Joseph, it says, are marveling. They marvel at what Simeon says. They're like, wow. I mean, we know this baby's special, but this is amazing stuff. Jesus as their salvation. Remember what we saw last time. They're doing all this law and religious stuff, but they're going to need more than that. They're going to need salvation. But then Simeon says something not so pleasant to Mary. He looks at Mary. This is verse 34, and he says this. He says, "This child is destined to cause the falling and rising of many in Israel." In other words, Mary, your baby is going to be a man of conflict. He's going to create conflict. He's going to cause people in Israel to fall and to rise. He goes on to say, he's going to be a sign that will be spoken against. Mary, your baby's going to grow up, and there's going to be a lot of people who don't like him that are going to be against him, so that the thoughts of many hearts will be revealed. This baby is going to reveal people's hearts. What people really think about God, because we're Jews, and as good Jews, we love God, we obey God, but Jesus is going to show our true hearts. Do we really love God? Because if we did, we would love Jesus, and we're going to see that come later in the Gospel of Luke. Jesus is going to make those kind of statements. If you loved the Father, you would love me. If you know me, you know him. So he's revealing our hearts. And then he says something to Mary that is not so pleasant. He says this, "A sword will pierce your own soul too." Mary, this is salvation. This baby is peace, salvation, light, and glory, but this baby's going to pierce your soul. And he's probably talking about the death of Jesus and how she's going to one day witness her son be murdered, crucified, and that's going to literally pierce her soul. I shouldn't have said literally, but it's going to pierce her soul. So what do we have here? Jesus, Christmas time. Christmas time is all about peace and love and harmony. And Simeon says, no, Jesus is actually about conflict and a war inside of you. Jesus is a sword. When you have cancer, if you had cancer, in order to get peace in your body, that surgeon's got to cut you. He has to hurt you and bleed you in order to bring peace into your body and to get rid of that cancer. And that's what Jesus is. Jesus is going to bring conflict before he can bring peace. And that was true in your life and in my life. All of us had to go through the conflict of who's in charge of my life. I'm a sinner. Am I good? Am I not good? And we had to give up control to God. So in all of us there was some level of war before there was a level of peace. And then Mary and Joseph meet Anna. Anna, this older woman, maybe even over 100 years old, and she too blesses Jesus. So what a visit to the temple, their first visit with the baby Jesus. A lot of amazing, amazing things have happened here. Here's our takeaway. Jesus, the thoughts of many hearts will be revealed. And is it all just here, guys? Is it all just up in your head? Is it all just head knowledge? Or has Jesus really revealed your heart? Have you allowed him to do that? Have you allowed Jesus to reveal what you truly think and believe about God? Or is this just a bunch of facts? Is the Christmas story just another thing that you learned since you were a little kid and it's affected your intellect, but it hasn't really affected your soul? It's got to be both. Remember, just like Mary, she memorized it, but she also meditated on it. It's objective and it's subjective. Okay, next time we're going to see Jesus at age 12. Luke's going to fast forward us up to Jesus at age 12, and we're going to see another visit to the temple. So I'll see you then. Have a great day.